The Sky Method. Chapter 3, Parts 1 explains the technology in a little more detail. Table of Contents. Explanation of the behavior of Sky Method. 4 Reason for development. Seeking help with reproduction experiments. The assumptions applications of the Sky Method. What I want everyone to understand. The Sky Method is an idea for a water treatment method that does not require expensive aeration power. Please pay attention to this point in your reproduction experiments. Explanation of the behavior of Sky Method. Please watch the Sky Method Chapter 1 video if you haven't seen it yet. Its web address is in the description field.
Let's watch the following video. This is a description of my idea for a wastewater treatment method and a record of a minimum-scale practical experiment. This video is for promotional purposes only and does not contain detailed technical explanations. The treated water passes through pumice and coconut fibers. This is the treated water by this method. On the left is the water collected from the septic tank. Center is treated water. On the right is treated water with additional bleaching.
4 Reasons for development. See the Sky Method Chapter 2 video for the reason of development if you haven't seen it yet. Its web address is in the description field. To sum it up. 1. The situation on the left and right developing countries are completely different. We need to build facilities that match the economic scale of the place of use. The people in the area of want it, can buy it, can use it. That is justice. 2. Create a wastewater treatment method that can be inexpensively production and maintained using the abundant sunlight and natural breezes of the subtropics. 3. Developed countries have exploited resources from developing countries. But they have not compensated them satisfactorily. So it means to make atonement. 4. That's why this method is free and open to the public and can be used freely by anyone. Free release. Do you think that's unusual? An example of an effective free release is Linux, the kernel of the computer operating system, from which all Internet users benefit. Linux enhances the lives of billions of people around the world, running in everything from server computers to smartphones, to embedded devices. Over the years, Linux has grown into a globally available, free software base that has remained largely resilient to interference from individual governments, corporations, and academic institutions. https://ubuntu.com/blog/happy birthday 30 years of Linux. Seeking help with reproduction experiments. We are looking for collaborators to replicate the method, practical scale experiment, and expand it to various applications. The assumptions applications of the Sky Method. I haven't experimented with it yet, but I'm guessing that Sky Method will be useful for aquarium water purification. A plant hanging around the sponge can be used as an interior decoration. I'd like to know if anyone can experiment with it. Pig manure is washed away with water at pig farms. The wastewater is often discharged into the river untreated in the Philippines. I think this situation is the same in other developing countries. This wastewater needs to be purified and discharged and are reused. This video is a record of a wastewater treatment facility built in Taysan, Batangas, Philippines by a pioneer of wastewater treatment for pig farms in Japan. He built this facility at his own expense without any support from anyone. The purpose of the project was to serve as a towing vehicle for the widespread use of pig farm wastewater treatment in the Philippines. Unfortunately, this facility was not used for long and was abandoned halfway through the project. The reason for this was that the pig farm owner could not sustain an electricity bill of just a few kilowatts. This is the problem of wastewater treatment facilities in developing countries. You apply the sky method to a piggery. You can make a channel with pumice stone and coconut fiber after the hanging sponge, and circulate the wastewater through it. Plants such as reeds and or bulrush, narrow-leaf cattail be planted on both sides of the channel. The circulated wastewater will be clean enough to be reused for washing the floor of the piggery. Reclaimed water is effective in purifying the piggery because it contains many effective microorganisms. This would be a good way to get reusable water without spending a lot of money. Purify wastewater in the community, primary purification. All kinds of sewage flow into the roadside gutters causing bad odor at the developing countries. This sketch is an attempt to do that. The sky method equipment is installed at the end of the community gutters. Purified water containing effective microorganisms will be circulated back upstream of the gutters. The gutters will be naturally purified and the bad smell will disappear. This method does not produce purified water that meets effluent standards. This is primary purification. However, this is an enlightenment to the local residents. It also reduces the load on the central wastewater treatment plant that will be installed in the future. This is an extreme geek idea. The reason for this idea is there is no space to build wastewater treatment facilities in densely populated areas. The rivers in such places are polluted with sewage. The surface of the river is free so we can use it. I am aware that this idea may have some problems such as loss of water when the water level rises. But I am sure that this idea will give us some hints. I realize that this is also an extreme geek idea. The sky method is performed by draping sponges and plants on the wall of a building. However, the plant is dripping on the wall of the building. The water is dripping down the sponge inside the plant. This condition reduces the air conditioner power consumption because it blocks the sunlight to the building. For example, how about using the wall of a fast food restaurant parking lot? The inorganic landscape will turn green. Only wastewater that does not contain human waste will be handled if you are concerned about odors. This is outside my field of expertise, so I haven't experimented with it. But I'm guessing that sky method will be effective in treating water in facilities that combine hydroponics and fish farming. Recently, there is a fish farming method called biofloc. Large amount of microorganisms are generated in the water and used as food for the fish in biofloc method, so large amount of air is blown into the fish pond. This requires expensive equipment and high electricity costs. Also, fish excrement is already being used as fertilizer in hydroponics. So I am speculating if the sky method can be applied to these combinations.
Fish have already eaten today, so they may not be that active.
The web addresses of these enlarged schematic diagrams can be found in the description section. I hope you will try these experiments. I am confident that this will be useful to you all when and where the time comes. Sky method is developed by Green Ninja Group in the Philippines. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Please watch the Sky Method Chapter 3 Parts 2 Technical Description of the Sky Method and Parts 3 Progress Record of Sky Method Development if you haven't seen it yet. Its web address is in the description field.